Happy Sunday, guys. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I was on the train the other day, headed back home to the Upper East Side from where I work at the hospital. And I saw this young girl with this mat, and it had different yoga poses on it. And I am now inspired to get my own yoga mat, just like the one she had. I'm actually going to order it probably this week. So I'm going to start doing yoga, and I thought about it. I'm thinking, should I do it here in my place where I live, or should I go out in nature? I mean, that's a no-brainer given that I love to be out in nature. So most likely I'll probably do my yoga sessions outside in different locations throughout New York City in nature. And I'm thinking about going to the Bronx first, because I do not go to the Bronx rarely. Like, I really go to the Bronx. Funny enough, that I used to live in the Bronx back when I first moved to New York City. I was living in, first I moved to Chelsea neighborhood, then I moved to Washington Heights area, which is predominantly Dominican. And then I fell in love with my ex-partner, and then I ended up moving in with him in the Bronx. So I lived in the Bronx for roughly 2 years, and it's a really nice place, but I find it interesting that I rarely frequent the Bronx. I do have a couple of friends who live in the Bronx, and I've been out there to visit them, but I rarely go to the Bronx, yo. The Bronx is really nice, and I think it has a lot of nice parks that people be sleeping on. So I think I'm going to start doing my yoga sessions out there. And then I'm just going to find other places across New York City to go. So many different places apart from Central Park here in Manhattan, because everybody goes to Central Park. Yo, that park is so populated. It's not even funny. It's so congested, and I don't think it makes for a great location to do yoga when it's so many people around. For me, meditation is about isolation, because it's through the isolation that I'm able to really connect to the universe, connect with nature, and to receive signals, electromagnetic signals from the universe. And I think sometimes people can be a distraction. And I say that cautiously because, yes, people are part of nature. We all, as human beings, we are nature, right? But at the same time, depending on whatever frequency that you are vibrating on, other people, obviously, if they're not in that same frequency, that wavelength, they could interfere, I think, with those messages that you are receiving directly from the universe. And so that's why it's obvious, right? And it makes a lot of sense why people choose to isolate when it comes to spiritual elevation and really getting in tune with ourselves, right? You have to do that. So I'm definitely going to start that. I'm really excited about this whole yoga. I'm not new to yoga. I took a yoga class back in I think it was my freshman year of college. It was actually a combination of yoga and Pilates. And so I really liked it. I used to do ballet too. I did ballet for several years, through elementary, high school, and in college. So I think it's something that it's time for me to pick back up. I'm really excited about it. I'm definitely going to start doing it by myself, and who knows, somebody else may be joining me. Someone else may be joining me, so we shall see. I'm about to try out this new incense. Sandalo con canela. I got this when I did my last incense shopping haul. So yes, I think that, I have a lot to share, but I'm just gonna say this, that last night I felt like was a new awakening. I don't know if you guys felt it, and I'm not into astrology, and I know people that are big astrology buffs, they're hyping up this whole new moon. I think there was an eclipse last night. I'm not really into that. Oh, look, there's already an incense in here. I'm just gonna pull you out, buddy. I'm not really into that, but I did feel something different, something very transformative happening last night, especially with me. And as I woke up this morning, I'm like, I feel it. I feel like there's a new beginning. Granted, every day is a new beginning, right? But I've really felt that in every part of my being. And I'm riding the wave. I'm with it. I'm celebrating it. And I'm going to order my yoga mat probably today, I think. That way I'll be able to get it before this weekend coming up. And I can start my yoga in the park a week from today on Sunday. So yes. It's an exciting time. I'm going to show you guys my Freeform locks. I actually just washed my hair. And I looked at the calendar. I looked at when I first started my Freeform locks. It was on May 28th, 2021. So this May, later this month, it's going to be 1 full year that I've had my Freeform locks. And I feel like I am shortchanging myself. Like, because I hate that I got this new transition with me being a psychologist at the hospital that I love, right? And I appreciate this step in my journey developmentally. However, I have to admit that there are parts of it that I dislike, and that one of the parts is just me feeling like I have to assimilate or conform to professional culture, right? The culture of the place. Granted, I feel like I don't necessarily have to, and what I'm talking about really is like related to my hair. So like when I go to work, right, I style my hair essentially, basically where I just like slick my edges back, and I don't think I have to, but I just feel like part of me feels like I have to, and that's what I do. But I feel like it's coming at the expense of me just being able to be freeform. And freeform is more than just a hairstyle. It's a reflection of where you are in your spiritual journey. And I don't think, like, people really don't understand the whole nature of locks, right? And why people choose to lock their hair, let alone freeform their hair, and just let it grow out, like, not manipulating it, right? And so when I style my hair with the gel, it's like I'm manipulating it, and I think that I've kind of gotten a habit of it. And I'm going to actually do some of that on video. Now, it's more so to condition my roots. So I came to you guys before, and I showed you guys where I purchased this Shave cream here, but I haven't really used it since I went live last time and I put it on my hair. But I'm gonna use it again, and it smells so good. It has like different oils in it, Jamaican black castor oil, shea butter, cocoa butter. It has like some type of minty oil. I'm not sure if it's the K-car oil, or I don't know, maybe it's the hemp seed oil, but it smells so refreshing and enlivening. So I haven't used this, ironically, since the last time I used it, which was like weeks ago when I went live. But I'm going to go ahead and use it here in this video to condition my scalp and my roots. I have actually some rose water, which reminds me I got to get some more because I'm running low on it. And I have some rosemary oil that I'm going to actually put in here. I've already put some here. I want to add some more droplets of the rosemary oil in here. But it's definitely good for stimulating the follicle of the hair. And I have some tea tree oil that I'm also going to put on my scalp. So it's going to be a lot happening here. But I definitely feel the difference. So I feel invigorated. Like I said, I feel enlivened. And it's just good because I think sometimes we operate out of routine and becomes very monotonous, and it's good to just wake up to a totally different experience and a new day and a new perspective. And so I definitely can feel that new perspective. Oh, hold on. I definitely can feel that new perspective. I don't know if it has anything to do with the moon, because everyone's hyping up the moon, but I felt it when I woke up. I was like, wow, where am I? And I'm looking around like everything looks different. It looks brand new. Why is it not? Okay, because I have it upside down. Do I have it upside down? No, it's not. Is it upside down? I don't know. Screw on this top. It's like acting like it doesn't want to screw back on. Anywho. Alright. Let's get into this. So I'm washing my hair in the shower. And I have so much hair, so it takes a while for it to lather up, but once it starts to lather up, yeah, it feels so good on my fingers. When I massage my hair, when I'm washing it, and it's lathered up in soap, I'm like, ah, yes, 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 yes. Smells so good. I wash my hair with Dr. Bronner's, by the way. I think it's actually is it the tea tree flavored one? Alright. Yeah, I just wish that, and I think I'm going to get to that. I think I'm just going to say fuck it. And granted, I do like when I style my hair. I like when like my edges are slick, because I think it just brings out my features in my face even more. It makes it more pronounced. But for the health of my hair, I think that it's better to not do that as often. And granted, I work 5 days a week, so I'll see. Ugh, it feels so good. Ugh, it feels so good. It feels good to just attend to yourself and just care for yourself. Yes, yeah. Self-care is every day. But I've emphasized the intentionality of implementing self-care on Sunday. So doing it with intention. So actually honing in to a certain aspect of one's physical, psychological, emotional health on Sunday. So it could be hair care, it can be facial care, it can be yoga, it can be anything, right? And for me, maybe I may switch it up week to week, Sunday to Sunday. But I do think I'm definitely going to start implementing the yoga practices on Sunday. And who knows, I may start doing it every morning before work. Sometimes we can get so consumed with work, with our professional lives, shall I say, that it comes at the expense of neglecting, our personal life, and personal life is our health, right? Everything is all interconnected. I definitely don't want that to be me. That rosemary is pretty strong. It's very, very strong. So yeah, it's about moving with intentions, and I feel like I've always been this way, but I just like to highlight it. I like to emphasize it a little bit more. So I'm gonna go to the tea tree oil next. And basically what I do is just glaze my scalp, my parts with it. And then I'm gonna take some time to massage it in. The thing is though, because people ask me like, oh, do you always wear your hair up like that? No. I only wear it up when I'm out. When I'm home, my hair is down at all times. Just like it is now. So, I think it's important to not strain the edges by having them pulled back up in a ponytail or in a hairstyle all the time. Yo, there is so much happening in New York City. So, as I was lying in my bed this morning, just wallowing in the glory of this new experience in life and day, I'm like, yo, my calendar is empty, right? And that's part of self-care too. For me, I make an intentional effort to balance my professional life with my personal life and fun things to do, right? So I look for events that are catered to my interests, my hobbies, and I add them to my calendar so that my schedule doesn't look like just hospital every single day, but it's hospital and then followed by a film screening, a Q&A, you know, or art show or festival, or going out to a nice restaurant I've never been to, you know. So I actually added some things to my calendar thanks to Eventbrite. Yo, Eventbrite has so much. I didn't really use that much either. Eventbrite has so, like, especially in New York, it's infinite things to do here in New York City. One can never say, oh, they're bored or it's nothing to do. If you're bored because you choose to be in New York City. It's so much to do. I went on there today and I'm just like, wow. Look at all these things to do. Even today. I'm like, yes, there are 5 boroughs here in New York, so if it's not anything to do in Manhattan, which is always something to do here, but you know, it's Brooklyn, we have Bronx, we just have a diverse span of ground, you know, that we can visit. So I love that. All right, so I'm gonna start getting into this styling here. I spend a lot of attention on my roots, but the length of my hair, right, doesn't get that much attention. So I'm gonna add some oil to the length of my locks here. And then the thing is, when you add things to your calendar in advance, it gives you something to look forward to, right? It helps to balance the stress of life, because the stress of life can be very debilitating. It can be draining. It can be depleting of the very things that make you want to thrive and to live and to look forward to the next day. Those neurotransmitters in our brain that are responsible for happiness, joy, and hope, serotonin, right, and dopamine. And so when you're working and you're stressed, especially if you work a job that is very demanding, such as mine as a psychologist in a hospital, it's important to balance that out, right? Balance that depletion of your resources, your neurological, biological resources, replenish that. Right? And you do that with things that bring you joy, bring you happiness. Eliminating those things that are unnecessary. Because sometimes we put ourselves in unnecessary ass situations that add to that depletion of our energy. And you don't really have to do that, right? You know, not setting boundaries in interpersonal relationships, that's just one example. But yeah, so adding things to your schedule, your life that bring you joy, happiness, and give you something to look forward to especially, right, is very important. Makes life worth living. It's a little tip, a little tidbit there. Alright. Come all oiled up. I like sharing this journey with you guys. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I'm going to try to come a little bit closer when I actually begin to start styling it so you guys can see the length. For example, this is a year's worth of growth from my scalp, my roots, all the way down to here. Because essentially, you guys go back and watch my very first Freeform video, and I do have a playlist on YouTube titled My Freeform Lock Journey. It's a playlist of videos that I created, starting with the very first one that I made back on May 28th, 2021. I was staying in an Airbnb, and where was the fuck I think I was in Brooklyn. And I actually showed you guys the process, right? In the video, you can actually watch the video and see how I started my Freeform locks. I did use rubber bands to start them, and I used gel, but you can see, look at that. That's, now, the length, I don't know. I can easily pull up my tape measure, but I'm not. I know that has to be over 8 inches. This has to be over 8 inches, probably 9 inches from here all the way down here. Definitely has to be 9 inches at least of growth, which I would say is pretty good. Some people choose to go to church and to fellowship amongst other fellow Christians of their same faith, you know, and that's how they refill, right? Everyone has their way of refilling, recharging. I've definitely stepped away from the church. That's just, it doesn't do it for me. It kind of coincides, right? It conflicts with my spiritual evolution. And it's just like when you become educated, when you know better, you do better. You know, so especially with the way churches here in America, and almost every institution, unfortunately, is just about capitalism, making money. And you see that they just care more about the money. They don't really care about the soul. They don't care about you. So let's hope that capitalism doesn't infect spaces that bring healing, right? Granted, even within psychology, within mental health and psychotherapy, yes, that system also is impacted by capitalism. But it doesn't have to be necessarily. It doesn't. And you think about like yoga and mindful, they have like mindfulness meditation groups, you know. Let's not let those spaces especially like if you're a psychotherapist or psychologist and you run your own private practice, which I plan to do, definitely moving in that direction. Not allow that space to be negatively impacted, to be compromised. I always want to maintain the sanctity of sacred spaces, such as psychotherapy or mindful meditation spaces or yoga. You know, definitely don't want to have those spaces corrupted. The church, unfortunately, is too late. That shit is too far gone. And it's just not a place that I want to be affiliated with. But I know that church is it's a safe place for some people. Just not for me. Alright, so I'm going to take this shea butter and massage it. My scalp and my hair is just going to be so thankful because I've added several different ingredients here, as you guys can see in this video. And I'm massaging it. And I'm just gonna, I got rubber bands, but you know what? I think I'm not even going to put the rubber bands on. I just took the rubber bands out. And I actually was going to separate, but I'm not even going to do that. Not in this video. So a few months ago, I went to this beauty supply store in Harlem, and I got some hair dye, but I'm not ready to dye my hair yet. I don't think that it's healthy to add color to your hair frequently, so I'm going to hold off on that for now. You know, the best thing is like after you wash your hair and it's still drying, let it air dry, and after you like oiled it up, right, moisturized it, go outside. The sun, it's just like a plant, right? You've nourished your plant with water. Go outside and get some sunlight. That's what I'm about to do next after this video. Go outside and absorb. Let the sun just touch my hair. I feel like my hair is asking for it. It's saying, please, can I go outside? Take me. So you guys see, like with Freeform locks and just locks in general, they start to connect, alright? And they start to grow together. That's the reason why I actually was going to put the rubber bands, right, to separate the hair, but I don't think it's needed. Just love my hair. I don't know about you guys. I love my hair. I don't see how people can just put so much like weave in their hair and not appreciate their own natural hair. I just love it. Yes, 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 honey. Yes, yes. I can lose some of this belly fat. I know you guys probably noticed it. I don't care because I love my entire body. But I know that I can cut down some of this belly fat, and I know that where it came from. And there's no excuse, right? But the fact is like for me, I like to do my exercise out in nature. I like to walk, and I walk miles and miles and miles. But when it's like freezing cold in the wintertime and it's like in the 20s and 30s and it's snowing, I'll go out and walk, but it won't be for an extended period of time, right? Maybe for like 15, 20 minutes and I'm bringing my ass back inside. So I definitely picked up some pounds during the winter, but they're about to be dropped off. I'm about to drop these suckers off. Like yesterday. I actually went out for a nice walk yesterday. I went to see a movie. I went to see the movie Memory. Oh, I was going to do a review too, you guys. Should I do a review? On the movie Memory with, what's his name? Liam Neeson. Very great actor, yo. I was rooting for his ass too. And I guess he was supposed to be like the bad guy, but I don't know. It was just something about, I got attached to his character. And I was just like, yeah, get him. Damn. Because he just, the way he was killing people was so cold. Shit was sick, yo. How he was killing people. And they didn't even know, like, they didn't catch him till the end of the video. I mean, the movie, shall I say. They didn't catch him till the end. But when they did, I died when he died. I was like, why? But, yeah. You're not supposed to be rooting for the bad guy, I guess. But I did. So I was like, yeah, get him. It was so cold, you know. But the victims, the people that he killed, were stupid. Just like, you don't see that shit coming. He would walk up to people while they're working out. Just, how do you know? You didn't see that shit? It's a really good movie. It came by recommendation of one of my patients at the hospital where I work. I was actually reviewing his discharge plan with him, and he said he was going to go see that movie. He had a few movies in mind that he wanted to go see. And then I was like, oh, because of course I'm a movie buff, but I never heard of it. Like, he is the one that put it on my radar, and so I looked it up, and I was like, okay, let me get some tickets to go see this movie. Yes. I'm glad I did too. I looked at the preview of it and it looked good. So I was like, okay then. Nice recommendation. I'm not able to tell him how the movie was because he got discharged, but I think he said he was going to go see it when he gets a chance. So that'll be sweet. Because that's a really good movie. And the funny thing, I don't usually like movies that have a bunch of violence, especially killing. I don't like that. But for some reason, I actually like this one. For some odd reason. I feel like two competing forces are at play right now. It's like, should I go outside? I really do want to go outside and get some sun. But then I'm looking at these canvases here. And I want to draw. I want to do some more paintings. So I think I might do that first and then I may go out. We'll see. We'll see. Or I can go for a walk first and then come back and paint. Working for yourself is so liberating, yo. It's just the idea of not having to go in, right? It's not that you don't like to be productive, because I do. Who doesn't, right? It gives you a sense of accomplishment and purpose when you're productive. But it's just the idea of having to fucking get up in the morning and break my sleep. I hate breaking my sleep for anyone. Ugh. Like, do not wake me up. I hate when my alarm clock goes off in the morning. But I know this is temporary. So I'll look at it. It's just temporary, yo. And somehow the people where I work, they got me really fucked up because they think that, I guess because other people that work there, other staff, have said, oh, I'm leaving, I'm not dealing with this shit, I'm not staying. And they still are there. I'm like, y'all don't fucking know me. Y'all cannot wait till the day that I put in my 2 weeks notice. They have no idea, yo. When I get my hours, I'm out. I actually got offered, I'm still getting job offers, right? But the fact that I've already started there in December and I've already accumulated a certain number of hours towards licensure is like, why go somewhere else now at this point, I can, right? And those hours can still count, but it's just like I don't want to be hopping around from place to place. I just rather go ahead and finish this shit out. But they have no idea. And I'm like, yo, a psychologist's pay grade is much different than other people's pay grade. So they may feel they need to stay because they may not have any other options. But aside from the pay grade, there are other places that pay psychologists more licensed. I'm going to be licensed. I am going to be licensed, in a matter of months. And when I get licensed, what reason do I have to stay there at that particular place, Y'all not about to sit here and work me like a damn dog, and that's their idea. Like, they just want to dump all this work on you. Nah, buddy. Don't work the shit out of me. I'm probably going to go into a private practice and just do therapy and then transition from working at a group private practice into my own. That's probably most likely the game plan in the next year going forward. What the fuck? I love my health. I love my sanity, my peace of mind, and working in an environment where, like, administration just doesn't care. You're not going to dump all this shit onto me and just think I'm just going to sit up here and accept it like a little fucking dog. Hell no. The hell? And then I'll have more time. Like, I have a lot of things I'm going to do, and you guys going to see it. I know that I've been saying this for the longest, but, now is the time, Now is the time. Why? Because you'll see. I can't really say too much about why now is the time, but you'll see why now is the time for some books to be released. I have no idea. Anybody besides me love cranberry juice? I've been drinking cranberry juice for a long time. Alright, I have 3 more to go. Y'all can stand this shit. It's not... I mean, the pay is good, but I think it's good for people who aren't, like, entrepreneurs and don't have anything else going on. Like, I got other shit, okay? Okay. They don't get that shit, They don't understand. I have multiple streams of income, okay? This isn't the only one. Where's my... Oh, there it is. I'm gonna light another one. I think I am gonna miss the patience, but given that I'm, like, forward thinking, I feel like I'm going to begin this separation process, like mentally, psychologically for myself, and emotionally for myself, and then with my patients, Like, I'm not about to be staying out there. Another thing is that it's far. It's far. It's in a different borough from where I live, and I'm not moving from this place. I told myself, the only time I'm going to move from here is when I buy a house, I like my place. I like my neighborhood. Oh, look at this, y'all. Look at this. But, yeah. And then I was on a hospital-wide case conference where they were reviewing this very challenging, difficult case of a patient that I haven't had the chance of working with. But apparently this patient is like very, very difficult for people who have worked with her. And the staff is like complaining about it. The staff is like voicing her concerns. Like, listen, if y'all send her back to my ward, I am filing a letter. I'm sending a certified letter to the state. And people are like laughing, thinking this shit is funny. That's what I don't like. Like for me, like I have certain values and beliefs, right? I don't mind working in challenging environments. That's not the issue, especially like the level of the patient's sickness, right? Like I've worked with very like severely ill patients. That's not the problem. It's the people around that you're working with, right? Your colleagues. If y'all cannot support me and respect me, that's number one. Like, it's about respect. Respect what I'm saying. You don't have to agree, but just have a degree of respect for what a person is saying. And I notice that they don't. Staff voice their concerns and they just laying on deaf ears and not respect it. I would never be, I can never be complacent in an environment like that where people just don't give a fuck about your concerns. And nothing is done. But I guess that's just working for the state in general, because this isn't new. When I was living out in LA and I was working at different practicum sites, I remember my supervisors who had worked with the state in California, they complained the same thing. They used to complain all the paperwork or just the bureaucracy. It's just they hated working for the state. They always hated it. They said, oh, the pay is good, but they hated that shit at their core. And I'm like, I wonder, it can't be that bad. Because psychologists, we are no weak backbone people, yo. Psychologists we've been through a lot ourselves, like in our own personal lives, and I think that's what often drives us to this profession, to work with people, right? So it's not a matter of, can you handle it? Are you weak? No. It's just knowing who you are and going back to self-care and setting those boundaries, yo. And knowing, am I willing to accept this and deal with this, or do I want to not? No, I'm not dealing with it. You don't have to. You don't have to deal with something. Why choose that route of dealing with that? And I think some people have, and they just kind of overlook it and say, all right, whatever, I'm not even. And then they start, at the expense of not giving quality patient care. For me, I'm operating from the perspective of wanting to deliver high quality patient care. So that requires a certain degree of security, of psychological safety, of teamwork, right? Of respect, of dignity. No, I'm taking care of myself first and ensuring that I'm respected, that I'm not being overburdened with all this goddamn work and a high caseload, right? And so with that, yes, I'm thinking about myself first so that I can deliver quality patient care effectively. That's just how I want to operate. I have a right to choose what kind of psychologist I want to be. Or do I want to just be like the rest of the psychologists is complaining and they're not happy? You can tell they're not happy. They worked there for many years, but they're not fucking happy, yo. And it's a front. We just had Psychology Day. This shit was a joke, right? It was a call they had over WebEx. And all the psychologists in the department went there, and the chief of the hospital was there, the president, all of that CEO motherfuckers was there, right? On the call. And they just trying to fluff up and pretend oh, I love working here and I love the work that this is all bullshit. That's bullshit. Cause how you gonna say all of that on a call, but then it's clear that your ass. You can tell when a person takes pride in their work. It shows in their demeanor. It shows and is reflected in their communication, how they talk to their colleagues. Right? You can tell. Motherfuckers don't care about their goddamn work. These motherfuckers are burnt out. And I have made it clear I am not about to be that psychologist that's burnt out. And then it's just so many things wrong. People just doing unethical shit. You know, seeing that the patients aren't really getting the care that they should be from various disciplines, including medical. Just messaging me. It's like, hell no, man. No. When you run a private practice, then you can set that shit up how you want to. And you making sure that you adhering to the ethical guidelines and doing your due diligence. It's different, you know. It's like the team is as strong as its weakest link. And when you have people not pulling their weight on the team, it makes you feel like, okay, what's the point? Like, I'm doing all of this work myself. I'm giving my 110%, and somebody else is only giving 20%. You know? That's where I'm at. I'm just like, self-care. Don't expend your energy in spaces that is just sucking your energy, but what are you getting back in return? Are you really making a contribution? No. Contribution to the degradation of these patients' overall care. I'm not taking part in that system at all, yo. And I have a right to choose that. Alright, so I'm almost done. I'm just about to. And I like just doing this to my scalp. It feels so good, like I said, you guys. I can do this all day, but I'm not. So I'm going to put some my actual locs here. It smells so good. But it's definitely a learning experience, and I see that even the interns, that's what get me. They want to sit up here and say, like, they verbally acknowledge the interns who are basically coming on to work as part of their final year, the doctoral program in psychology. They're going to be starting in September, so they acknowledge them. And then they acknowledge the externs who are working, like, their rotations throughout their graduate program, and they're working there as part of that, one of their rotations. They acknowledge them. But you know, these motherfuckers didn't acknowledge me as a new psychologist on the team. I guess maybe rightfully so, because I fucking spoke my mind on their ass in an email thread. I'm like, this shit is unethical. They didn't acknowledge me on psychology day. Not that I'm looking for it, yo. I can take care of myself, and I can handle shit. I know how to handle shit, and I just remove myself from the equation. That's all. Simple as that. But don't think that it didn't go unnoticed, because I definitely noticed that shit. It smells so good, yo. Making sure that every part is touched in my hair. Yeah, it's like, as I told my colleague this, right? Like, they don't get it because they've been there for 8, 9, 10, 20 years or whatever, right? So they just become complacent. But nah, I'm like, I'm a budding psychologist. So I am new here. Just as they put me on probation because I'm a new employee, as they do every new employee, I put their ass on probation. Like, I'm just testing. This is a trial run. I'm testing this shit out to see, is this what I want to do? Hell no. Do I want to stay here? Hell yeah, they fucked that up. I feel like they should have kept in the honeymoon phase. But they broke the honeymoon phase too soon. At least let me do a year there and break the honeymoon phase. They didn't. I seen it for what it really was. So, peace out. No, I'm dead serious though. I don't see what could keep me there. Somehow, One of my colleagues thinks that I'm just talking, and somehow I'm going to stay here. Why would I stay? I have no reason to fucking stay in that shit. No reason at all. When I got offers, y'all, I got offers now. Even when I was doing my onboarding process, the paperwork and all that for this particular position at the hospital, I still was getting offers. I don't think people get it, yo. Man, it's all kind of money being thrown at my ass right now. It's a good thing. That's a good place to be in. Because there is a shortage of psychologists nationwide. So it's a good time to be a psychologist. Now, alright, I'm done. Like I said, I can go on and on because this thing smells so good. If only you guys can smell it. Imagine. I wonder if I can use this on my skin. If it's good for your hair, then it should be good for your skin too, right? One would think. Alright, let's wrap this video up. Feel free to share your comments below, you guys. If you have Freeform locks and you're also on the journey, feel free to drop your channel below so I can check your channel out. Yo, I swear there's something in this mixture that smells like marijuana. That just smells very herbal. That's what it is. Very herbalistic. So I have not eaten breakfast yet. And that's one thing I love about my off days, or essentially just not working at all, right? A 9 to 5, is that I don't eat as much. Yo, at my work, I eat more than what I would if I was just at home, working from home. Even when I work from home, because my pre-doc internship was 80% remote, I did not eat that much, even working from home. So it's like, why am I eating? I get it. I think I'm eating a lot there because, and that's another reason why I picked up this weight, is because the facility where I work is far out, right, from food. So I have to bring in my food, and I make sure I bring in a sufficient amount while I'm there for the 8 hours, so I'm not fucking hungry there, because they don't have access to food, you know. They just don't. They don't have access to food in the actual building and nowhere around it that's in walking distance. So I just bring in lunch and breakfast. And it's hearty too. Y'all be bringing in some hearty shit. So, bingo. Makes sense. Because I'm like, okay, if I don't bring in food, then what? If I don't bring in any food, then my ass is going to be hungry. What's going on with this buddy here? Yo, no, this bun, no, honey. Yeah, so, try to think. Alright, I'm gonna catch y'all later. Catch y'all folks later. I'm all oiled up. Definitely think I'm about to take me a nice walk. I might just start my painting sometime this week. Ew. Smooches. Yes, I love it. I love it. I feel great. That's a tea tree oil that's dripping down. But yeah, I can lose like 20 pounds. Y'all can see the thickness.